Or I should say.
Good evening, everybody. This is the Carver Zoning Board of Appeals for a meeting on July 11th, 2018. We are in the Carver Town Hall in room number 4. I observe that our friends from Area 58 are here this evening, and we're happy to have them as usual. Welcome. And we hope that recording meetings such as this provide the citizens for the town of Carver insight as to how its local government and the committees and boards in the local government work. It's a good civics lesson for everybody. Tonight we have a number of matters that we need to discuss. Some of them administrative, and in my discretion I choose to do the administrative ones first. They will be quick, and then we'll go to the public hearing. First, we have a reorganization of the board to discuss this evening, and I want to inquire as to whether anybody has any ideas as to who should serve as the next chair of the Carver Zoning Board of Appeals. By the way, it doesn't have to be me.
I nominate Stephen Gray for chairman.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Somehow I knew this was going to happen.
I realize it doesn't have to be.
Is there anybody else that's foolish enough to want that job?
Fran, would you like it?
No, thank you.
Eric?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. So I'll need to hear a motion.
I move to close nominations for the chairman position, Stephen Gray nominated, and duly seconded.
All in favor of closing the discussion on this issue?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing no opposition, the discussion on this issue is closed, and now let's go to a vote. Please let the record show that I am abstaining from this vote.
I move to nominate,
Well, no, he's been moved, so now it's just,
oh, we've done before, right?
all in favor of Stephen Gray as chairman, say aye. Aye. All opposed? With one abstention, it passes 4-0.
So the crown wears heavy on this head again. But we need to have another discussion about who the vice chair should be. Does anybody have any ideas about who the vice chair should be in the event of my absence?
I move that Sharon Clark be named as vice chair.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Hearing none. Can I please have a vote on whether this discussion should now close so that we can move on to an acceptance of Ms. Clark as vice chair? So all in favor of closing the discussion?
Aye.
So no opposition. And now let's go to a vote on Sharon Clark as vice chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So we have the same officers as last time, and these will be the officers of this board for the next calendar year. Not the next calendar year, but the next fiscal year. Thank you. Does the crown wear heavy on the head? Good. Second, we have minutes from July 11 of last year that we had not yet voted on, and we want to make sure that we review these minutes now and incorporate them into the official record. So I took the occasion of forwarding all of these minutes to you folks in advance of tonight's meeting so that we could move quickly through them. Does anybody have any amendment or modification or change to these meeting minutes of July 11, 2017 that they'd like to bring to the attention of the rest of the board at this time? Hearing no discussion, can we now close our discussion with regard to whether these meeting minutes should be accepted or not? Yes? Can we close the discussion? All in favor of closing the discussion?
Aye.
No opposition. So we now go to a motion that I need to hear from someone as to whether these meeting minutes should be accepted as written.
I so move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So they are now accepted and made part of the official record. Now we go to our public hearing. This is our case for the evening. This is public hearing case number 73-7. And the petitioner in this case is Robert Kyle Bassett. Is he here tonight? Is it Bassett or Bassett?
Bassett.
Bassett. And you are of 52A West Street, right? This is where the location of the project is to be?
Yes, sir.
52A West Street in Carver, and you are requesting a special permit pursuant to sections 2300, 2320, and 2242 of the Carver zoning bylaw for a property located at that 52A West Street in Carver, which is Assessors Map 73-Lot 7, in order to operate a martial arts studio in a residential agricultural district. Are you a martial arts guy?
Yes, sir.
I'll be very friendly with you. I'm not
Yes,
going to
sir.
insult you. So if you would like to stand or come up here or over there, wherever you're comfortable, so you can address us and let us know what it is that you are proposing.
Okay. I currently own a studio in Carver right now, down by Tiki Kai, 2 Montello Street. I just recently retired from the Department of Corrections and I bought a house. And now I want to move my business to my property. The property already has a building, 3-bay garage detached.
Now, this is a 52A West Street property,
Yes, sir.
so it's got a house on there.
Yes, sir.
It's got a detached garage.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And that's where I want to move my studio.
Is this where you're going to be living as well?
In the house, yes.
All right, and you're living someplace else in Carver now?
No, that's where I live now.
Oh, that's where you live now?
Yes, I live in the house and I want to turn the garage into the...
Into the studio?
Yes,
This is
sir.
a detached garage?
Yes, sir.
Is it a 1-car, a 2-car, or 3-car garage?
3.
3.
There's 3 bays, yes,
Are
sir.
there 2 floors or 1?
1.
Go ahead.
And like I said, it's just more convenient for me, obviously, and I would like to get away from 2 Montello Street. You know, the parking lot is very active, a lot of illicit activities. Tiki Kai, you know, the smoking area is out front. So just a lot of things. You know, I don't want my kids to be, you know, going by if I don't have to.
Are you suggesting that there's some drug dealing going on in that area?
Yes, sir. Once again,
Have you been calling the police about this?
I've kicked them out myself numerous times. I'm a correction officer. I hold a private detective's license through the Mass State Police.
Have you called the
currently.
police?
Oh, yes, sir. I've spoke with them. Oh, yeah, no. They know that's just a hot area.
Now, let me ask you, have you put in your notice to leave your current location?
Yes, sir.
And so when are you moving from there and hoping to open the martial arts studio on West Street?
Have everything done by towards the end of August.
So you're going to be out of where you are now by the end of August?
Yeah, no, I'm there now
I
till,
know, but you said that you've given your notice that you're going to be leaving there,
Yes, sir.
right? You told the landlord, I'm out of here,
yes, sir.
right? And when did you tell him you would be leaving?
While ago. I was, you know, that was just
When are you going to be physically moving from that location? That's
August.
By the
Yes,
end
sir.
of August?
Yes, sir.
Are you month to month at your current location?
Yes, sir. Well, yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's basically, it's a good environment for the kids. We can be outside where I don't have to worry about cars driving around. I have a lot of parking. It's a very nice area. I'm very, very happy with my property. I got 10 acres. A long driveway, about 1,000 feet, you know.
And you own this property now, it's not under agreement, correct?
No, I have, yes, sir.
When did you close on it?
April.
Go ahead.
And like I said, I would just like an opportunity to move my business and, you know, run it from that location. I mean, and, right now, I've never had more than 25 students. I'm still in the growing phase. So, I really don't anticipate a lot of traffic. And Carver's still very much growing, you know what I mean? So I don't anticipate having, like some towns have 100 students. I don't see me doing that for quite a bit. You know, once again, the most I've had was 25. And when you break it up into different classes, traffic wouldn't be.
So you're not talking about 25 at once?
No,
You're
no.
talking about 25?
They would have 6 here, then the next class would have another 6 or 7, and then the next class would, you know what I mean? So, I would like to, and I don't want to get that big. I mean, I'm not looking to, I have a nice pension. I'm not looking to make a ton of money. So there will be a shut off. I'm not looking to have 1,000 people coming through my property like that. You know what I mean? And I am the only martial arts studio in town. You know, I try and provide a service, you know, try and be there for the kids. I used to coach years ago, and you know, working through the Department of Correction, I get transferred here and there. So now I'm back, and just trying to move forward.
Thank you. If you'd like to sit, you can sit.
Thank you.
I'm not done with
Okay.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, as long as I have the gentleman.
Yeah, no.
Tell me a little bit about your classes, your setup, your hours that you run it now.
Okay, my 4:30 class is for the youngest, 5 to 8. All right, so that's 4:30 to 5:30. 5:30 to 6:30 is my 9 to 12s. And then the late class, which is 7 to 8, is my teens and adults.
So
And
you run this mostly in the late afternoon and evening?
yes, yes
Okay.
ma'am, yes ma'am, from 4:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
You know, and if, once again, people I work with in the department, I'm 3 to 11 guys, if they want to come early, you know, before their shifts, I offer that too, you know, private lesson type of things. The setup will be, the kids will come in and we do our exercise, they do their calisthenics. I have little kick pads, I have all types of equipment. That's a little bit of stuff.
So this is where it's located now?
Yes, that's 2 Montello Street. I have, I try and run them, keep them busy. We play dodgeball with the second class, the 9 to 12-year-olds. We work out the same. I try to end every class with a game. We play dodgeball, kickball, kick. We play something at the last 5 minutes of every class. Teens and adults, we train hard. I always talk to those guys. Those are the guys that could get in trouble because they're at that age, you know. And unfortunately, I've had to dismiss a couple students because once again, if you get in trouble in school, you're not allowed in the dojo. The kids aren't allowed to use martial arts in the school. You know, that's very, very on top of that. It has to be used correctly. But once again, I have had to because I want a good environment. I want, you know, the kids to be happy being there. I don't want to have to worry about a bad day. You know, unfortunately, I've had to tell the parents, this one can't come back. And
How long have you run this studio?
5 years now.
5 years.
Yes.
And how is this space? This space looks pretty big.
That's
Not
2,300 square feet.
And how is this compared to?
That's about the same. It's going to be about the same size. About the same.
And what kind of renovations do you have to do to the garage?
Bathrooms.
Bathrooms?
That's it. Yep.
Now, do you have to be ADA compliant?
Yes.
Or you do?
Yes.
So your bathroom will be
Oh yeah.
ADA?
Yes. All right. Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. Do you have any pictures of the garage or of your property?
No. No. On my phone. You want to take a look at
Look
it?
at those.
Sure. Sure.
Anybody have any problem looking at pictures on this phone?
No.
It's how I see my grandchildren.
I'll show you the garage.
So the hours are roughly 4 to
8:30.
8:30?
Well, 8:30, 8 o'clock is the last class, but I'm usually cleaning up. And I don't push the parents to, some kids get dropped off, so the parents aren't there late sometimes. And, you know, I don't, it's,
Monday through Friday, Monday through...
Tuesdays I leave early, that's, and then I'm closed on Sundays. Saturdays, I am 11 to 12.
Oh, one class.
One class, yep, it's just, you know, if I can get more students, then, oh, be, you know, more private lessons.
And then roughly how many parents hang around like with the cars?
I have quite a few that drop off and take off, but four or five maybe.
4 or 5 cars
Yeah.
be parking with?
Oh, yeah, yep.
So, I'm sorry, you're closed on Sunday and Monday?
Nope, I'm closed just on Sunday. I leave
Just on
early
Sunday.
on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, I leave at 6:30. This is, that's,
He's closed on Sunday.
okay,
Oh.
that's the garage. That's the house. So there's my house, there's the garage. I'm gonna show you a better picture of that. That's the side of it. That's the front, so that's what it's looking at facing the driveway corner.
There's no snow.
No. But if you want, I'll show you the next video of the inside.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to see the inside. What else would I report?
Okay, here we go. So it's gonna be, I just hit play. That's when I looked at the house. This is when I was actually, I didn't own the house when I took the video.
How big is the garage?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's I'm very happy.
Heated?
Huh?
Heated?
Yes.
And electrified.
Even with cable. I think the cable, I haven't checked the cable yet.
There's a bathroom that you're putting in there?
Yes, sir.
Can you see your neighbors' houses?
I see, my next door neighbor, yes, that's the only one I can see. And he's right, he's
Close.
he's close, but yeah, I mean, we don't, let's see, probably maybe 30 yards. It ain't, it isn't, plenty of
Yeah.
room.
Yep.
So you're saying this in-ground pool's all filled in?
Yes, it's filled in.
So,
I don't know what that's about, but it's filled in.
I mean, with the
I'm gonna get rid of that in the long run.
dirt,
But it's filled in, it's just filled in. You can tell there was a pool there at one time.
Oh, okay.
It's,
It's a concrete pad.
yes.
Oh, okay.
James, anything?
No questions, no?
Sharon, anything more?
I'm stewing, go ahead.
Eric?
Good for now.
Fran?
I'd like to see the video.
Sure.
Big space.
I'm no good with technology, so be with me.
Came to the right place.
Thank you.
No, I have to have my kids show me how to use my own phone.
Is the barn one level?
Yes, one floor.
Nothing above?
Nope, yeah.
How many square feet?
What do you think about?
I would say it's roughly 3,000 square feet.
The barn is 3,000 square feet?
It's a big spot. It's, I'm actually
Yeah, it looks big.
the contractor that's gonna be doing the renovations there.
Yeah, identify yourself. What's your name?
My name is Daniel King, DA King Construction.
Good, I saw it.
We are, we have a contract currently pending approval of this that, so we have 2 ADA compliant bathrooms going in, just a toilet and a sink, simple plan. And we'll be, so the homeowner elected to, because he has a lot of friends that are in the industry, the homeowner elected that I just be in charge of the basic structure of the bathrooms. And because he has a plumber electrician that are friends of his, everything's gonna be per code. I've been in contact with the building inspector, Gil Bonoan. Gil Bonoan's actually a friend of mine, so he's guiding us through this to make sure everything's within compliance of, local building codes with electrical, plumbing, heat, stuff like that. So, it's a great spot. But it was a 3-car garage that, and it's one of the biggest ones I've seen on a property, honestly, and the bones are in really good condition. And after it's done, it's gonna look beautiful. It's gonna be a great relocation spot. I'm the first person to speak up to somebody and let them know that if it's a pipe dream or not. When he gave me the phone call, I said, all right, well, we'll take a look at this garage that you wanna, and I looked at it and I was actually like, wow, this is a nice spot. So, it is, like, you know, like Kyle was saying, it was ample parking there. I think 30 yards is a huge undershot for his neighbor. I mean, the street is 1,000 feet, the driveway's 1,000 feet from the street. And there's two houses on the end like this. And the neighbor's over here and he's on that side. So they're far apart from each other.
There are other neighbors too.
We'll get to that. Sharon, do you have anything further at this point?
At this point, I have other questions, but I'll wait for a second.
Jim, you still good?
Yep.
Eric? Still good. Fran?
I'm all right right now.
All right, I have to go through my usual cross-examination.
Sure.
And it's going to be gentle, but
Okay.
there are bylaws that we must always be cognizant of.
Yes, sir.
Bylaws, these are the town of Carver laws specific to the town. So before this board can issue any sort of permit or variance, we have to make sure that the project complies with the bylaws for the town of Carver. And there's a book for this. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of sections that are pertinent to what you are asking us to do. And if you could give us your best answers, I would be grateful. Okay? That will move things along. Are there any other studios of this kind in the town of Carver?
As far as I'm aware of, I'm the only one.
Traffic flow, you said that the driveway or the property there where the classes will be taking place is about 1,000 feet off the road, is that true?
Approximately, yes, sir.
There's a long driveway in, is it an asphalt driveway?
Yes, sir.
And I would assume that there are parking places at the end of that driveway as you pull up closer to the barn, is that correct?
Yes, there are some spots.
Are these parking spots on the driveway or would they be off the driveway?
Off the driveway, you pull off the driveway into the parking area.
Insofar as utilities are concerned, you've got water that is going to be going
Yes,
in
we're
there,
going to begin,
and you've got electricity, is that correct?
yes, sir.
Do you have to run any wires or anything to get water or electricity in?
We are going to run water from my house, but everything else is in place.
Is your house serviced by well?
Yes, sir.
All right, so has there been any determination made by the Board of Health as to whether the water load, which is currently sufficient for your house, will also be sufficient for the barn?
I have not checked that,
Make a
sorry.
mental note of that one, Eric. You talked a little bit about neighborhood character, and that your neighbors are quite a number of yards away on either side. Is that correct? On your side of the street?
Yes, the ones I can see are right there, yes.
Well, I don't know what you mean when you say right there. On your side of the street, to your left and to your right from your house, are you able to see your neighbors?
Yes, when I look out the door to my left, they're right there.
When you say right there, how far away would you say?
I thought, roughly, I said 30 yards, might be 30 yards, might be close to 40
Now, when
yards.
you look to the left, is that where the barn is, or is that?
Yes,
to the
that's right, that's to the left also, sir.
So the barn is actually closer to your neighbors than your house is,
Yes,
is that true?
Yes.
How far would you say your barn is from your neighbors?
Probably 20 yards.
And insofar as any material that has to be removed from the scene while you conduct the building project, have plans been made to get that stuff out of there before the project is completed?
Correct, sir. I will be hiring a 30-yard dumpster container to be hauled off the premises.
So everything will be cleaned up after the projected work is done?
Correct, sir.
Not done. Are you considering this to be a home occupation?
What do you mean?
Well, the Carver bylaw speaks to home occupations. These are businesses or professions which customarily are associated with the use of a principal structure, in this case, your house. But we know it's not going to be in your house, it's going to be in a detached garage or barn, if you will. So would you still consider this to be your home occupation, if you will, even though it's in a detached structure?
Yeah, I guess, yes, yes.
The home occupation bylaw in Carver, which is 2241, suggests that the business should be either in the principal property, which would be the house, and also it suggests that no more than 30% of the combined floor area of the residence and the accessory structure to be used for the home occupation. So let me take a time out with you here for a minute and sort of get the sense from the board as to whether they feel this is a home occupation or not, that would come under the four corners of 2241. And here it is. If you want to sit down.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's home occupation as a work. He's applying in the home occupation as a special permit. So, is that, okay, so we have to move
So
on.
it harkens back, 2242 harkens back to 2241. Is there anyone else that's going to be operating or running this business besides yourself?
No, sir.
Do you have any other coaches or trainers for these kids?
Not right now, no, sir.
Are you expecting to put a sign of any kind out on the road?
Yes, sir.
What kind of sign?
Just it seems like there was one on my mailbox before. There seemed like it was already something that was there, so I was just gonna put, whatever the town would allow me to
Is this going to be a lighted or unlighted?
Unlighted, sir.
Unlighted.
Yes, sir.
And all the parking is going to be off-street, is that true?
Yes, sir.
How many acres is the lot? What did you say?
10 acres, sir.
10 acres. Is the garage or barn that we're talking about, is it going to have any exterior lighting?
There is exterior lighting, yes, sir.
Where is it?
There's an awning, and the awning lights up on the one side of the garage. It has lights, and it also has a motion sensor light. So yes, sir.
Just in the front, not on the sides or the back?
No, the front and side.
Well, there are two sides, right? Two sides to the front, so do you have lighting?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Facing the front door, that's the awning, that lights up. And the side where the other bay is, that's a side door, that lights up also.
But no lighting in the back, right?
Aiming towards your house?
Yes.
Towards the house? Okay.
The awning, yep, the awning lights
Those
up.
are motion lights too, so,
Uh,
you say they're motion lights?
Yes, yes,
And those are already existing?
yes.
So going back to the question I posed before about whether this is a home occupation,
I mean, I hope I'm classifying it right, but it's like.
how old is the barn or the garage in this case, do you know?
I don't know, but it's solid. I mean, it's not.
No. Is it more than 3 years old?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Now, if we were to take, does anybody have a calculator? If we were to take the combined square footage of the house and the garage, do you know what the square footage of your house is?
Off the top of my head, I don't. What do you think the rough would be?
All right, I'll tell you what, you're going to have to let us know what the square footage of the house is.
Yes, sir.
And what the square footage of the barn is. Because the bylaw says that not more than 30% of that combined square footage figure can be used in the home occupation. So we're gonna take the square footage of your house, plus the square footage of the barn, get a figure, and then factor in what 30% of that is. Because under the bylaw, you're only allowed 30% of that combined square footage figure. Do you follow what I'm saying? Do you think that's gonna be a problem? Either one of you?
Well, the structure is really big.
Right.
Where his dojo and training is gonna be conducted is actually probably like a 25 by 25 area. So that's right around like 650 square, and his house is probably around 1,500 square
Do
feet.
we have a plan for what you're gonna be doing?
I don't have a plan,
We're gonna need that too.
I don't have a plan for his house, like I don't have.
No, but I mean, do we have a plan?
Oh, yeah, no, I'll have to submit all
Is that
that.
here with us tonight?
I have a rough draft
No,
of,
we don't want a rough draft, we want a plan.
okay.
Okay.
So you need,
We need to see the layout, and we need to see the square footage.
sure,
So that we can be sure that this is in compliance with the Carver zoning bylaw.
absolutely.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here. And I'm not making this stuff up, I'm just going through
No, I
a list
understand.
of things that the bylaw requires we go over.
I think he's gonna be well within the perimeter of the 30%.
Okay. And again, that's a combined figure, the house
Combined figure,
and the
yes,
garage.
correct.
Okay. For me, I think that the major issue is going to be establishing square footage, fact, and then calculating what the 30% figure is. And if you're over that, there could be an issue. I also want to see a plan, because we're flying in the dark without a plan, with all due respect. So we're going to have to get a plan so that we can see what it is that's proposed, right? And go over that, and we also need to see a plot plan or something with regard to the principal structure of the house, so we can calculate what the square footage is there. In other words, although we respect your opinions, gentlemen, on this, we need to actually see the documentation. Would everybody agree with me on that? Yes?
Yeah, and I'd like to see, this is just a septic plan for the house, and what I'd like to see is like the whole, did you get a plot plan with your mortgage? That would show the whole lot. I mean, this shows just a piece of the lot. I think,
Just to clarify, what you're requiring is a drawing of his existing house to show square footage,
no,
plus a drawing of the barn.
The drawing of the barn, yes. We need to see what the proposed plan looks like.
the
Okay,
floor space of the barn, where you're gonna put the bathrooms.
so my next question is,
But insofar as the house is concerned, a plot plan, when you have a mortgage on your house, so you were probably given a plot plan at or around the time of the closing. Go through your closing document, and you can locate the plot plan.
the problem with that is a lot of them aren't certified. I mean, they'll give you an as-built and tell you it's a plot plan, but unless you have a civil engineer out there, it's not factual.
We accept as-built.
Okay.
As far as, that's gonna show us where the house is on the lot, but it's gonna show us the whole lot. I'm not seeing the whole lot here, the whole parcel.
Yep,
I don't see the whole parcel.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another source for you. Go to the assessor's office here, and that will also have, I'm told by our resident real estate expert, which I don't propose to be, that there should be a square footage figure on that.
Sure.
So there are sources available to you to get to us what
Yes, sir.
we need. We're not asking for a lot, we just, as I said before, we don't want to fly in the dark.
No, sir, I'm with you.
So, in regards to what you need, does another hearing have to happen in order to submit those documents? Because I have to put all that stuff through the town anyways when I file for permit. So I'm gonna have to.
Let's not jump to any conclusions about what we're going to do next, because we have some members of the public here who've been waiting patiently, perhaps give us some comment or advice. So why don't you folks take a step back for a second, verbally step back.
Yep.
And let me ask any member of the public, and I observe that there are 3 here, besides the petitioner and his builder, to see if they would like to be heard on this. Anybody like to be heard? Either for or against, or any questions that they might have? Yes,
Definitely.
you may identify yourself.
My name is Sandy Tolson. I live on the Yellow Brick Road, which is a neighbor of the proposed karate studio.
So you are how close to the proposed karate studio, would you say?
I can see the road next door. And
So you're not a direct abutter,
I am a direct abutter.
you are a direct
Go to the
abutter.
same
And
side
not
of the street.
Well, where are you on this map,
Where are
Ms.
you?
Tells?
Here, if he's here, where are you?
So he's at 52.
You're saying he's,
He's here. I'm off of West Street. My road is a one-lot subdivision. When I came to build my house, I didn't have enough frontage, so I created a one-lot subdivision off of between 54 and 56 West Street. So I'm 600 feet off the road, where I enjoyed many years of privacy until Mr. Robillard house.
Yes.
This is where he is. So Mr. Robillard passed. That house was 52B.
Right.
And that is now a sheep farm. So every tree that was my
Protection.
nice border is gone, and there is a big field of nothing. And so now I see every car that goes down that road all day long. And
So you are a direct abutter,
I am a direct abutter.
and I have to interrupt at this point because I recognize Ms. Tellis. This often happens in small towns like Carver, where we run into each other frequently, either at the grocery store or at the post office, or in our case, the gym.
Yes.
However, I can say for the record that I have no feeling one way or another about Ms. Tellis or this project. So if you would like to continue, now that I've made complete disclosure,
Certainly.
go ahead.
So I would be concerned about the traffic that's going up and down the road. As I said.
Which road? Not the
West
long
Street.
driveway in, but
It's
West
the
Street?
long driveway in, not West Street, because I'm 600 feet off the road, which I don't know what goes on in West Street either. But this 52A and 52B, I see every car now that goes up and down the road, so I'd be
Plus, we
concerned.
get a lot of their traffic
Hold
on.
on just a second. Let Sandy finish first, and then we'll hear from you.
She can speak.
Okay.
Oh, you
So-
can speak for
I'm
yourself.
her partner.
So I'm concerned about the amount of traffic that goes up and down the street.
Do you have any other concerns that you'd like to express?
I do.
What are
I would hope that when this project, if this project is complete, there is signage, because as Gail is stating,
You don't want them going down your driveway, right?
yes, they do that many times to deliver pizza and things like that, so I don't want.
Oh, if you're hungry, that might be a good thing.
I've tried to pick up a couple orders as long as it's prepaid, but it has not worked out for me so far. But yeah, so I would hope that if in fact there was approval, that there would be proper signage so that we're not getting, because that happens because the GPS is not always accurate as to the Yellow Brick Road, which is a road, and 52A West Street. So,
What other concerns might you have?
I heard the hours of operation, so now I know, but I would hope that this is an initial approval, that the hours do not get extended later at night, and, you know.
We always address hours of operation. In the event that there is an approval, we attach conditions. And again, I want to say for the record at this point that I've made no judgment. I don't think anybody else up here has yet. So we're not saying yes or no. What we're saying is we're still listening and still gathering facts.
Right, and I appreciate you hearing my concerns, so.
Could you just kind of point out where your house is located on this plan in reference to that?
So this is his house?
Yep.
So my house is, this is West Street? Yep.
That's the one.
And so, somewhere down here, probably where this well, that's probably my well.
So that's probably your lot, this is the lot line, so.
No, this is West Street.
That's your well.
No, this is West Street. So I'm 600 feet off the road, my well's not way down here.
Okay.
I'm I'm here, I can see this, I can see that barn.
If this is his lot line, are you here?
I'm on this side, yes.
Okay.
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 All right, so you're over there.
Thank you very much, and your concerns are duly noted.
Thank you.
May we hear from you?
Oh, she's already,
She's spoken for you?
she has.
You can
I
stop
told her
that
what to
business.
say.
All right.
Other gentlemen?
Gentleman in the back?
I'm here to listen.
Just here to listen, and we're glad that you're here. So for me, to reiterate, my concerns right now are whether you would be in compliance with 2241B, which is that when we add up the square footage of the two structures, that the barn is not going to be greater than 30% of the total. Okay, you get that? That's one concern I have.
Okay.
The second concern that I had to do with, what was it? Help me out, people. It's been a long day.
Are you concerned about the water?
Yeah, the water was a concern because you're now, you're now creating a greater load for your water system because you have a very large accessory structure and you're gonna have a whole bunch of people, presumably you're gonna have a whole bunch of people using it, right, the bathroom. So we wanna make sure that you get the appropriate go-ahead from the Board of Health on this. Okay, so that should be something else that you're looking at. And there was a third thing. What was it?
While you're thinking, can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Is this barn currently on your septic?
No, but we're hooking it up. When we put the bathroom on, there's a, is it on there?
Grind it up on site.
Can I,
Yeah, inject the pump?
yeah, yep.
Oh, that's what this is, Al?
Yes,
Yep.
Okay.
that's where it's going to the main septic here.
What, just for my own knowledge, what types of rules does the town have in place based upon, because I always understood septic to be tied into bathrooms, where this is a separate type of use for septic? What are the rules?
So he's having the septic updated to meet compliance.
And obviously you'll have to get approval for that. You'll have to
Of
get
course,
certification.
of course.
And that
Yes.
will become part of the case record.
Yep,
Okay?
yep.
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Are you familiar with the load that, actually, I can figure that out for you.
Well, to my left sits our resident expert in septics and water,
It was a water,
Mr. Mueller.
yeah.
And Mr. Mueller has, I think, probably some opinions about both the septic and the water in this case.
I can't give any information on the water, but bathrooms have no effect on the size of the septic system, so it won't be any concern, I just have to approve that.
Regardless, if you do get an approval from this board, you're gonna have to get approval from the Board of Health,
Yeah.
okay?
Of course.
And that becomes part of the case file. So that's just another hoop you have to get through on this. I want to read to you also bylaw 5330 with regard to special permits, so you understand ultimately the weighing of competing interests that has to go on in this case. And what it says, and I'll read it slowly for everybody, it says special permits may be granted upon written determination, and that written determination is from us, that the benefits of the proposed use, meaning the martial arts studio in this case, outweigh the detrimental impacts on the town and the neighborhood, in view of the particular characteristics of the site and of the proposal in relation to the site. So, when I said we're talking about sort of a weighing that has to go on here, what we're talking about is taking your specific proposal and saying, in the end, is this something which is going to be detrimental to the town generally and to the neighborhood specifically? And if it is, we have to say why it is, and if it isn't, we have to say why it isn't. And a lot of these questions you've been hearing from us tonight have to do with various specific issues that the bylaws ask us to ask you about. like traffic and lighting and water and septic and square footage and all of these things. All of these answers help us get to the final answer, which is this detrimental to the town in the specifics of the neighborhood or not? Does that help you understand what we need to be doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And also for those at home. Does anyone else have any questions tonight about this specific project?
I just want to ask Mr. Bassett, should the board, once we get through the process, and should the board choose to grant, as the chairman mentioned, we can put conditions on it. And with a special permit, it means it has to be renewed every 3 years, which means we come back out, input comes back in, so that's part of it. And we can also not control, but we can condition your hours of operation. Are you flexible with those, or?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly only plan on being open 4 hours out of the day. I mean, it's.
And you have how many students currently?
Like 20 right now. Summertime is rough because kids, they come and go.
What's the maximum that you've had since you began running the studio?
25, 30.
And how long have you been running that studio?
5
over
years,
there?
sir.
How many years now?
5 years.
5 years.
Yes, sir.
So the maximum that you've had is 25.
Oh, yes, sir.
And you're looking to grow, are you?
Another 25, and that's about it. I mean, I have other projects, you know, so I don't wanna overdo myself. This is just part of my
You have any other
retirement
martial
plan.
arts projects that are pending? Any
No,
others?
martial arts, no, sir. I have other things going on. I just, you know, I run a security company. Like I said, I just recently retired, so I'm just trying to get.
Well, you know, somebody has to tell you, when you retire, you're supposed to be taking it easy.
Yeah, I know. I worked, trust me, it was time I worked at the prison, and first day of eligibility, I walked out, you know, so. But, you know, like I said, 4 hours is, and then on Tuesdays, I close early, Saturdays, 1 hour, and that's a very late showing.
Who do you live with in the house over there?
Just me.
All by yourself?
Yes, sir.
You got any dogs?
Yes, sir. I got a couple dogs.
As far as what we might consider as conditions, another one might be limiting the total number of students.
I would have no problem with that.
Putting a cap on it.
I would have no problem with that. And I'm not, I know what you're saying, you don't want a lot of traffic, and I've said, I don't want a lot of traffic. I'm not doing this to try and get rich. I want to be comfortable. So I would have no problem. A fair cap, I would have no problem.
Yeah, and also conditioning the hours.
I don't know, once again,
8:30 might be a little late.
8 o'clock is when classes end. So I'm saying 8:30 is actually when everybody should be gone. I mean, if everybody's on time, the place should be empty.
Well, remember, in the cold weather months, the clocks go back.
Yes,
right?
sir.
It gets dark early. And neighbors may have concerns about the lighting and the comings and goings of the vehicles, which are gonna have headlights on as well.
Yes, sir.
So I think that's where Member Clark is going with this.
No, I understand.
So these will be issues for the next public hearing. If we decide that we're inclined to give you the special permit, there could be these sorts of conditions attached. Hours of operation, lighting, and the like. But again, speaking for myself, I haven't made any decisions yet. And I don't think anybody else has quite yet.
There is already a street light at the end of the driveway. I know that.
Yeah, and we're talking more about.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just saying there is already a street
If
light.
you're
Depending on the
gonna,
barn.
yeah, if you're gonna have ambient lighting well into your lot,
Oh, no,
which
yes, sir.
could affect the neighbors and their privacy, then this is something that we need to do.
Oh, yeah, no.
As you've heard from Ms. Tellis.
No, yeah, I completely, no, I don't wanna,
I mean, people who have been living in the woods by themselves for a while, as Ms. Tellis has, become very concerned about their privacy and not having to deal with a lot of light,
yep.
right? I'm not saying this, I'm sort of saying this tongue in cheek, but I understand where she's coming from. You know, we've had this issue crop up in other cases where structures have been put up and there are lights on these structures, and the neighbors who are accustomed to having a fairly dark neighborhood at a reasonably early hour now have lights much later into the evening. And it's a concern of theirs, it's a legitimate concern.
And noise,
I beg your pardon?
and noise, it's
And
very
noise.
quiet in the woods.
Right, and noise. So, these will be issues that we'll discuss the next time around.
No, I
I
understand.
think your builder wanted to make a quick comment.
It was just in regards to the stipulation of how many students.
We're not there yet.
Well, I was
Next
just
time.
talking, you know, to what she said.
Next time, we'll be more specific on that. Does anybody here feel as if they need to do a site visit?
You know me, I love looking at the conditions.
Love to walk you once.
So since Ms. Tellis says that sometimes pizza people go down the wrong driveway,
No, I understand that. and,
please make certain that pizza arrives when we do our site visit.
Well, just out of curiosity, time restrictions and everything, when would that happen and when would the next
So
meeting
that's a good
be?
question. I want to ask you when you would like to begin construction, if this
As
is
soon
allowed.
as soon as possible. I
As
mean,
soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
All right.
Only
Because you
because-
have to be out of the other place by the end of August, right?
Yes, sir.
How long do you think this construction would take?
Couple weeks.
All right, so we're not talking about a long time.
Okay, I'm just, I have investments, I'm just trying to make sure everything lines up.
We
So,
want to
And-
make sure
and-
that we protect your
I'm
investments as
actually
much
glad
as we
that
can.
you guys are here so we can, I can hopefully avoid any.
I'll just charge you $1 a car that comes down the road. I can retire totally.
This is the
Oh,
total.
no, yeah, well, the lighting, can you see my garage? Because I can't, I don't know, I never try to see your house, so but, honestly, I'm here to work with you guys and of
No, we
course,
can't see the garage.
no. Oh, well, what-
We can see the lights on at your house, though, through the trees.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we, instead of having these private conversations back here, we need to have a discussion up here about when we can do the site visit. So, how about
Saturday.
this Saturday? Okay, and what time would you like to do it?
9 o'clock.
Eric?
Checking my calendar, that's all.
Okay. Remember the old days when we just had to
Yep, that should work.
look at a paper thing?
I'm free.
What's the date, the 14th?
Yep.
If it's early. Like
Early is
9.
9, right?
Okay.
James?
I think it's okay, I have to check the calendar with me.
Well, if you're not coming, we'll all be disappointed.
I understand, but I'll order the pizza to be delivered.
Pretty early in the morning, we'll have to settle for coffee and donuts, I think. Anyway.
And basically the site visit for which you could
Yeah.
participate too.
We won't be home, you can drive up and down all you want.
Well, you know,
It's
if
just a
you-
walkthrough of the barn.
Yeah, if you want to be there, then we can adjust the schedule for this.
No need to be there.
No,
Have you been inside the barn before?
No.
no. We've seen the outside.
Would you like to go inside the barn?
I have no desire.
Do you?
No.
Okay. Because I'm sure, given how cooperative Mr. Bassett seems, that he'll be willing to give you a private tour.
And what happens afterwards is we'll set the date for our next meeting tonight, upon which we would likely be able to issue the decision. After we issue the decision, there's a 20-day waiting period. So that takes it out another 20 days before a building permit can be issued. It's an appeal period in case a neighbor or someone is aggrieved at the decision and wants to appeal it. They have to file in court, I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, but there is a 20-day waiting period after we issue the decision. So we're pushing it out towards the end of August now.
And there's nothing we can do to waive that, I mean, that's statutory.
No, I understand.
I don't expect anybody that is not directly involved or indirectly involved who's here this evening to be filing an appeal. And as everybody up here, I think, knows, this board has not been reversed on any of its decisions since, I don't know, Cain killed Abel. I mean, it's been a long time since.
I've never lost one.
Okay. And you've been on the board since
25 years.
25 years, this board has not been reversed. And I don't know how long before that. So I think that whatever comes out of this is going to be your decision, although I can't say for sure. But we will get this site visit done quickly for you, that is to say in 2 days. And we will schedule another meeting now. Does anybody have any suggestions?
Monday.
Right, well, that's good, but I
No, we don't have to do a public notice, and you won't get another notice of the hearing date like you did for this one. We set the hearing date here, and it's not a public notice kind of thing, that you would be mailed anything. I have no problem either doing it at the end of the month or 1st of August. Mr. Chairman, you want to leave it?
Yeah, the earliest I would be able to come back and participate would be I think the first week of August, which actually, I think it's, what, July 30th or something?
30th is a Monday.
Okay, and then it goes to,
30th is Monday and 31st is Tuesday.
right, so the 1st, the 2nd, Wednesday,
First is a
Thursday?
Wednesday, if you want to go for the first.
There'll be a Concom meeting that night.
All right, so Jim is out on that. What about the 2nd?
Second should clear.
Sharon?
If I can get the day off. Yeah, let's go ahead and set it for the 2nd.
You're going to be gone on the 2nd?
Yeah.
All right, so we can't do the 2nd. When are you
About the
available?
31st.
How about the 31st?
Tuesday the 31st,
Mhm.
do that.
Is that good? Sharon, is that good?
Yeah.
Okay?
James?
Yeah, so far.
Okay,
July 31st.
I'll make it work for me.
7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock in this room. Write this down someplace.
Is the 31st okay for?
Yes, yep, I will make it work.
There's markings at the end of your street now, 52A.
At the
When we
mailbox,
go
yes.
down there, can we
At the
tell where
mailbox.
52A is?
Yes, the mailbox is.
Says 52A on it?
Yes,
It
sir.
doesn't say Elbert Road.
No, 52A, and then you'll see the long driveway.
You're on the left side going up West Street?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're on the left side.
All 3/4 of a mile down.
Okay, and this will also give you the opportunity to get us the square footage of both properties, the plan for the proposed project, and also indications from the Board of Health with regard to septic and water.
Water, septic, okay.
Right? Those are the things that you need to be working on, so that when we come back, we can address all these issues, so that we don't have to push this out again. Any final questions
No?
from the audience, from the board?
Good.
So, do I hear a motion to continue the public hearing until the 31st, and to do a site visit on the
14.
14th
So
at
moved.
9 a.m.?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we have a site visit in 2 days at 9, and we have a continued public hearing on the 31st of this month in this room at 7 p.m. And we'll take up all of these issues once more.
Okay.
That's pretty quick.
No, I'm very happy. Like I said, I'm willing to work, I'm not trying to ruffle feathers.
So thank you all for your participation this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're gonna try to get a site plan? A site plan of the whole lot? Like a mortgage plot plan you do?
So you don't need an engineer?
No.
Civil
Nope.
engineer?
Nope, nope.
I see.
Okay.
You can take an as-built.
The as-built, if it's in this mortgage.
Thanks, guys.
Joe,
Thank you.
Joe did this plan, he may very well
Thank you.
have
Good evening.
on his, Joe, I think Joe Webby did this, he may very well have on his, still his computer, a plot plan that he could just print off for you at fairly low cost.
Hi, Mr. Friend.
All right, let's move on to the next matter.
Good luck.
I'm Carver, by the way.
My name is Gail. That's all. Hi,
Nice to
Miss.
meet you.
Nice to
Take
meet you.
care.
Good luck.
Okay. The next matter on my agenda is whether the board has any correspondence to consider this evening. I have not received any since we last met, and I assume that no one from the town hall has received any either, and I don't believe our recording secretary has brought any correspondence this evening. She's indicating in the negative, so we'll go past that item and move on to the next item on our agenda, which is an executive session under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21, subsection A and subsection 3, to discuss strategy with respect to pending litigation in the case of Town of Carver Planning Board versus Town of Carver Zoning Board of Appeals. The case is currently at the Plymouth Superior Court, docket number 1683 CV 00720. As an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigation position of the public body, and votes may be taken. I'd like to do a roll now to make sure that everybody is in agreement that this board should be going into executive session. Please indicate either by aye or nay whether you feel as if executive session under these circumstances is necessary. Fran?
Aye.
Eric?
Aye.
Sharon?
Aye.
Jim, now and I,
Now, before we go into executive session, I would like to announce that we will not be coming back into public session. So there will be no public meeting after we convene in executive session. No votes will be taken outside of executive session at this point with regard to this matter. I think I've covered all of the issues pursuant to the open meeting law. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to add?
Edith.
So we will now commence the executive session.